The third round of the 2005 Infinity Pro Series season took place in the streets of St. Petersburg, Florida. This race was going to be special, as it was the first Indy Lights race on a road course since 2001, and the first road course race in the time that the series was called the Infinity Pro Series. Entering the race, there were three drivers piquing the interest of the fans. Travis Gregg was on fire at the start of the year, winning the season opener and grabbing the first two poles of the year. Another competitor grabbing headlines so far this year was Jared Vogel's Floridian brother, who won last time out in Phoenix. And finally, we have Marco Andretti, who even before joining IndyCar, was the TV's golden baby. He's making his debut in the series today, and things got off to a great start. Marco would start this race from pole position, starting alongside Jeff Simmons. The last place starter would be the accident-prone pervert, who didn't set a time in qualifying. With the pre-race blabber done, we can get to the start of the race. Chaos immediately reared its ugly head, as going into turn 1, Al Unser III locked up and rear-ended Jamie Kamara, who would then ramp over the back of Jeff Simmons. Both Simmons and Kamara would be out of the race, but despite the recovery vehicles being on track down at turn 1, the race wouldn't go to full course yellow, at least yet. As that was going on, Marco Andretti entered a different postal code, pulling up to a 3-second gap in just a couple of laps. For the next 10 laps, there wasn't much going on outside of a spin for the worst thing to come out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin since the Teddy Roosevelt assassination attempt. A couple laps after that, Marco Andretti would lock the rears going into turn 10, giving the lead to Wade Cunningham. Marco tried a few times to take the lead again, but his attempts were fruitless. Soon enough, the first full course caution of the race came out after store brand Jared Vogel crashed coming out of turn 9. The yellow was brief, and the race would be restarted on lap 25. Soon enough, the top three of Wade Cunningham, Marco Andretti, and Nick Bustle formed a bit of a peloton, pulling away from the rest of the pack. The order stayed the same for the next 5 laps, but as they caught up to Marty Roth to lap him, Marco Andretti went for it going into turn 4. It was a pretty good overtake, and thankfully for Marco, it stuck. His lead would go uncontested for the remainder of the race, with Marco crossing the start-finish line to take his first Infinity Pro Series win in his first ever series start. Wade Cunningham would finish 1.4 seconds behind in second place, with Nick Bustle rounding off the podium. Today is the 18th year anniversary of this race happening, and although it wasn't the most interesting race, I figured I'd share it with you today. Thank you for watching, and have a great afternoon.